Hi everyone, I'm Jay Fadden. Thank you so much for joining us today on This Is the Day. And Father Reed, I'm going to love this show because I love New Hampshire and we have some friends from New Hampshire with us.
We do, you and me both. We love New Hampshire, and Shawn Gregory is back with us, and Brian Harrison to tell us about the upcoming men's conference in the great Diocese of Manchester. And we're going to Rome again today, Jay. We're going to take a stroll through the gardens. Yes, the Vatican gardens.
Kevin, what we hear about in the news today?
All right, Jay, the Vatican's ambassador to Egypt, Archbishop Michael Fitzgerald, gives his thoughts on the events unfolding in Egypt. Also, the Metropolitan of the Russian Orthodox Church. He's a musician, composer, and author. He addresses an audience at Catholic University. And the Catholic Psychotherapy Conference is coming up in March. We'll have all the details on that. All those stories ahead in the news. Jay?
All that and much more right now on This Is the Day. Hello, I'm Jay Fadden. Thank you so much for joining us today on This Is the Day. So glad that you decided to tune into this program because we're going to have a lot of fun today. And that's because I'm here with my great friends, Father Reed and Kevin Nelson. How you doing, Father?
I'm great. That's what it's about, having a lot of fun.
It is.
And we're going to do that in the living room today. And we had Valentine's Day this week. And next week, another big feast coming up, the Feast of the Chair of St. Peter.
Yeah, and we have a little special announcement about that because we have a Mass coming from a very sacred location.
Yeah, if you've ever been to Rome and been to St. Peter's, you've probably been down into the crypt underneath St. Peter's where the excavations that discovered actually the tomb of St. Peter were conducted. And there is a very small chapel called the Clementine Chapel, and that altar in the Clementine Chapel is literally up against the place where the early Christians buried St. Peter after he was martyred. And so next week, on the Feast of the Chair of Peter, February 22nd, we will have Mass coming to you from that very place, the Clementine Chapel, in the crypt of the Vatican Basilica.
We have to thank, obviously, the Vatican for allowing us to do that because that's a special honor. And it's just an incredible place. I think people who've been to the Vatican and to St. Peter's and have had the chance to go down will recognize the area right away.
Sure,
and
yeah.
Just once again, just special thanks for allowing us to bring this into your home. It's just great. Yeah. Hey, busy day here at Catholic TV too today. We have priests from all over the country with us today, doing shows, and of course our friends from New Hampshire are here. We've got Evan is here, who's doing an article on Catholic TV. She's probably in the control room right now with
I think she
Kate
is.
and Peter watching this.
Yeah.
And just very, very busy. So it's great to have people from all over the country coming in to be part of Catholic TV.
And it keeps you out of trouble, too. You know,
me personally, or?
Well, all of us.
Okay.
You know, when we're busy, we're happy here at Catholic TV, and you know, many hands make light work, and so we have many hands working today. And some of these shows, which you're going to be seeing in the future with Father Chris Hickey and Father Paul Rouse, I know you're going to enjoy because we have some very talented priests, as Jay just mentioned, coming in here from all over the country.
Do you know what I've discovered, by the way?
What's that?
I just have to throw this out there. When I was young, I could get in trouble really easy. Now I can't even find trouble. If I tried to find trouble, I don't even think I could at this point.
You talk to anybody who is of a mature age, and they say the very same thing.
So when you say mature age, are you calling me old? We should clarify this right now.
Hey, let's...
You're going to just move on.
I'm going to switch the topic. You know what I downloaded the other day in the sacristy? I'm getting ready for the 4 o'clock Mass, and somebody was talking about the confession app. So I had my iPad in my hand, and I downloaded it right there and then. And what a great little tool, help for people to not only prepare for the sacrament of penance, and you know how much I love confession, but also to actually take the app on your iPad or your iPhone right into the confessional to help you to kind of get through the sacrament, because I know people get very anxious. And I just think it's a great gift for the church for $1.99.
It is. And I wrote this on our Facebook page the other day that we have iCatholic, and now we're over 1,100 members. It's growing very, very quickly. And I have to tell you, I am always touched when I read it. As you know, I put on a thing about my friend Dave, who's not doing well.
Right.
But there are people who are putting prayers up for young children that they know, and for families, and just talking about the faith, just in general discussions about questions they have. People who aren't even Catholic, who have left the church for one reason or another, are coming on with really some hard-hitting questions, but they're looking for concrete answers. So I always enjoy going to iCatholic, and I do it all the time. And then the other thing is, in terms of YouTube, which I cannot believe, we're now, very soon we'll be going over 50,000 people who have viewed the program about the Holy Father.
Oh, sure.
Over
the
50,000.
House and Home at the Vatican, yeah. It is
and that's
kind of
only
amazing.
very quickly, too. Another thing, that hasn't been up. You know, sometimes you see huge numbers, but it's been up for a year or so. It's not the case with this.
And it's there in 3D, too.
I know. Well,
you know who gets a kick out of that is Evan, who's with us today, who's writing that article on Catholic TV. She gets a big charge out of the 3D.
Yeah, but we have a lot of 3D. But we have a lot of 3D. It's not just that. We have, I mean, hey, Colbert got a big kick out of that.
He did, didn't he?
He'd probably get mad that I just messed up the name, and I actually have seen the show before, too. But
do you watch the Comedy Channel a lot?
No, actually, I don't watch it.
You have your own comedy channel going on.
24/7, 24/7, here, home, everything. One thing we've done, though, is we traveled to Rome, and you mentioned that. One of our favorite cities. We had a great trip out there, and we're trying to bring that trip into your house, and we had a visit, and it's the gardens.
The Vatican Gardens. Yeah, a lot of people don't get to see this because it's kind of a private area of the Vatican, a place where the Holy Father and others can go to reflect. There are a number of fountains and altars. It's a very beautiful place, and we were privileged to have the chance to take a look at the Vatican Gardens and to bring it to you on this new episode of Viaggio a Roma, a trip to Rome. Take a look. We're back in Rome. I'm Father Reed. Ciao, amici. The Vatican Gardens, Giardini Vaticani, in Vatican City, are urban gardens and parks which cover more than half of the Vatican territory here in the south and the northeast. There are also some buildings in the garden, such as Vatican Radio. Now, the Vatican Gardens cover approximately 57 acres, which really is most of the Vatican Hill, and the highest point is 200 feet above sea level. Stone walls bound the area in the north and the south and the west. You know, in a way, the Pope is a prisoner of the Vatican simply out of concern for his personal safety. So the gardens really are a refuge for the Holy Father and a place of quiet and prayer. The gardens and parks were established during the Renaissance and also during the Baroque era, where they were developed and decorated with fountains and sculptures. And really, this place is beautifully manicured. The Vatican Gardens is often used by the Holy Father as a place to pray the Rosary with his secretaries. Now, tradition says that the site of the Vatican Gardens was spread with earth that had been brought to Rome from Golgotha by St. Helena, and this was done to symbolically unite the blood of Christ with that blood that had been shed by thousands of early Christians who died in the persecutions of Nero. The gardens date back to medieval times, as I mentioned, and at that time orchards and vineyards extended to the north of the Papal Apostolic Palace. And in 1279, Pope Nicholas III moved his residence back to the Vatican from the Lateran Palace and enclosed this entire area with walls. He planted an orchard, a lawn, and a garden, and that's how it all began. Today's Vatican Gardens contain a variety of medieval fortifications, buildings, and monuments from the 9th century to this present day, set all amongst vibrant flower beds, green lawns, and even a small patch of forest. There are a variety of fountains within the gardens, while sculpture and artificial grottos give honor to the Blessed Mother of God. Standing here in the Pope's Garden, I'm Father Reed in Vatican City. Ci vediamo presto.
Ci vediamo presto. I think
see you
we should throw a
soon.
little Italian in at this program from now on.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, maybe at the end, instead of, from your living room in your living room and our living room.
Oh, okay. Throw it in there.
Yeah.
Ci vediamo presto.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Kevin,
If I remember.
how's your Italian?
Good, Jay. Excellent.
Because we're considering doing an Italian newscast right now. What do you think?
That's great. Well, I think we should start next week.
Kevin, what's going on around the world in the Catholic faith?
All right, thanks, Jay and Father. Hello, everyone. It is time to take a look at the news. And we begin from the Vatican. In an interview with Vatican Radio, the Vatican's ambassador to Egypt, Archbishop Michael Fitzgerald, said he hoped the Supreme Council of the Armed Forces, which is running Egypt, would follow the directions of constitutional reform and will also respond to the other demands of the population with regard to social justice and with regard to political liberties as well. Archbishop Fitzgerald, the Vatican nuncio in Cairo, said that even before President Hosni Mubarak resigned February 11th, the Egyptian leader had given his vice president the task of studying various articles of the Constitution with a view of amending them in response to protesters' demands for greater democracy. The Supreme Council of the Armed Forces announced February 13th a series of steps needed for a democratic transition, including the dissolution of Mubarak's parliament, a suspension of the Constitution with the promise of establishing a committee to rewrite it, and the promise of elections in 6 months. In other news from the Vatican, 30,000 pilgrims filled St. Peter's Square for Pope Benedict XVI's Angelus address. The Pope talked about the Sunday Gospel, and in his talk, he referenced a Rome tragedy that occurred recently where 4 children were lost in a fire. Rome Reports has more on the Angelus.
Like every Sunday at the Vatican, pilgrims arrived in St. Peter's Square to pray with Benedict XVI. The Pope addressed the 30,000 people filling the square on Christ's commandments of love that he reinterpreted from the Torah.
Gesù lo spiega mediante una serie di antitesi tra I comandamenti antichi e il suo modo di riproporli. Ogni volta inizia, avete inteso che fu detto agli antichi, e poi afferma, ma io vi dico.
The Pope explained that the words of Jesus, I say to you, were parallel to claiming himself as the same authority of God and as the source of the law. Benedict XVI made these remarks to help ease some of the pain felt by families after a recent fire in Rome that took the lives of 4 children. He said that through faith in Christ, we open ourselves to the action of the Holy Spirit, which enables us to live God's love.
Perciò ogni precetto diventa vero come esigenza di amore. E tutti si ricongiungono in un unico comandamento: ama Dio con tutto il cuore e ama il prossimo come se stesso. Pienezza della legge è la carità.
He ended by speaking about Christ's Sermon on the Mount, in which Moses climbed Mount Sinai to receive God's law and bring it to the chosen people. This was his first sermon, and one the Pope said could signify its importance when considering his teachings.
Looking at news now from around the country, the Metropolitan of the Russian Orthodox Church said in a recent address at Catholic University of America that classical music is underappreciated for its spiritual contribution to the Church. Metropolitan Hilarion Alfeyev said he believes secular music is possible within Christianity, including that which exceeds the limits of classical. He said Christianity can even inspire a secular artist to convey sacred messages in the language of modern musical culture. The Archbishop delivered a multimedia presentation on the intersection of music and faith to students, faculty, and guests in the university's Caldwell Hall Auditorium. Trained in violin, piano, and composition, the Metropolitan served in the Soviet military before entering the monastery in 1987. He is the author of more than 300 published monographs and other written works and has composed numerous musical works. His composition, St. Matthew Passion, a grand oratorio for soloists, choir, and orchestra written in 2006, has received standing ovations at performances in Moscow, Rome, and Melbourne, Australia. Its English language U.S. premiere was February 7th in New York City. His 2007 Christmas oratorio has been performed in Washington, Boston, and New York to critical acclaim. In his presentation, Metropolitan Hilarion emphasized that genuine art serves God either directly or indirectly, and even if it is not intended for worship, it can be dedicated to God. His presentation was part of a series of events celebrating the theme of Catholic University President John Garvey's inaugural year, Intellect and Virtue, the idea of Catholic University. And finally, in the news, the Catholic Psychotherapy Conference is set for March 25th and 26th at the John Paul II Center in Denver, Colorado. The annual national conference will focus on how psychotherapists can draw on their faith when they are treating their clients. The theme is implementing the Catholic faith into your practice, psychotherapy in the service of the Church. The agenda will consist of talks, workshops, and networking. Speakers will include Archbishop Charles Chaput and Auxiliary Bishop James Conley of Denver and Bishop Michael Sheridan of Colorado Springs. Workshop topics will include how to have a happy marriage, attachment issues, and treatment for those addicted to pornography. Christina Lynch, staff psychologist for St. John Vianney Theological Seminary in Denver and organizer of the event, said they are here to serve the Church and integrate their faith lives as well as their practice, and to help people to come to know God in a fuller and more flourishing way. The event is sponsored by the Catholic Psychotherapy Association. The conference schedule and registration information is available online at www.catholicpsychotherapy.org/conference. And that is all the information we have for you on this Tuesday, February 15th, 2011. Back over to Father and Reed and Jay with more. This is the day.
Kevin, thank you very much. Kevin, always good to hear from you. We'll see you a little later on in the program. Joining us now is Brian Harrison and Shawn Gregory. They are working on the upcoming New Hampshire's Men's Conference and Family Evening. Hey, guys, first of all, thank you for being with us. I know the traffic, as we talked about, got a little tough when you got closer to here, but you made it.
We survived it.
You survived it. Well, Brian, tell us about the second annual New Hampshire's Catholics Men's Conference.
Last year, we decided that men needed an opportunity to get together for a day to kind of deepen their faith. Mm-hmm. New Hampshire's had a weekend retreat that's gone on for 26 years, but not everybody can always take that kind of time off. So we put together a day, and it was such a success, we've decided to make it an annual event filled with talks, some adoration, prayer, small group time, and we're going to do our second this year at St. Michael's in Exeter.
Mm-hmm. And the website, I got to throw this out right in the very beginning, is stmichaelparish.org, right?
.org.
Correct.
And it's St. Michael, just to be clear. St. Michael.
stmichaelparish.org. So could you just kind of go quickly through the schedule? What can guys expect if they were to sign up for this? And I hope that they do.
I hope they do too. Well, we're really excited to have Brian Kissinger in this year as our keynote speaker. He's from Fairfax, Virginia, youth minister down there. And we saw him at Steubenville East Youth Conference last summer, and he had some great workshops, and just liked his approach, very relatable. And so he'll be talking about a lot of the distractions in our lives, taking us away from prayer, from having time with Christ, and he'll refocus us as men. And so we're excited about that. As Brian mentioned, we'll have some great music. We'll have adoration. Our pastor, Father Mark Montmany, will be doing a talk and leading us in adoration.
We're sorry he couldn't be with us today. I know he had obligations at the parish.
He did, so
yeah.
trying to fill in as best as I can.
You have a wonderful pastor. You're very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, what I really like, too, about this is you've coupled it with a family evening. So tell us a little bit about that.
Brian Kissinger is so great with the youth that, as Shawn and I were kind of talking about the day, we really wanted him to stay and work on our youth nights. Unfortunately, he had to get back to his own parish, so we decided to extend the day so that he could, in the evening, we're going to have a dinner for families and another talk and some music that night, really focusing on how do families communicate and where's the breakdown. So we're calling it Faith, Family, and Facebook. Are we really as connected as we think we are? And we know Brian will give a great presentation on that. We're also going to be inviting other churches in the Exeter area to join us for that evening, as well as their pastors, and be part of the event.
Last week we had a guest on, Dan Duddy, who actually just won the St. Paul Virtue Award from the Chicago Bears. And he spoke very strongly about Catholic identity for men and how we have to take hold of our faith, and we have to go out there and tell people about our faith and be strong Catholic men. Is this what people will learn at the seminar too, that we have a responsibility?
Absolutely. We do have responsibility as men. I think in youth ministry, which I work in, I see a lot of times the moms are kind of bringing the children along in the faith, which is wonderful, but certainly having a dad or a father figure in their life as a role model. So I think it's a good challenge for all us men, family men, single life, even vocational life. We're all called to be real leaders. So hopefully this conference will do that, and Brian will get us.
And the theme
excited.
you've chosen, I can't think of a better one, because it's so important to come together to reconnect ourselves with the Lord and with one another. But then I suppose the challenge is, how do you remain connected once the day and the evening is done? And maybe you can't answer that question, but...
That is the challenge. That is a challenge.
Well, that's partly why we encourage the men to we will have some small group time there, and we really encourage them to, continue that communication with each other. I know at our parish, and I know in the diocese in general, small groups are really strongly encouraged. And, men just aren't used to that. And this is a great way for them to kind of break down some of those walls and get used to talking about what's going on in their hearts and in their faith.
Do you guys find that with men in particular, and I grew up with 4 sisters, so I have different viewpoints, but do you find with men that once they find out that they're not alone in their faith, sometimes I think we all stand out there and we feel as if, okay, I believe in this, 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 and this, but am I the only one? But when you get together at a conference like this, you realize that, in fact, you're not alone, and it's a great bonding experience, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It's a great bonding experience. And it also, you share your joys and struggles in your faith. And so you're not alone. You are struggling, and when you're small grouping and you're seeing other men struggling, you have the support in these brothers in faith, and it's a wonderful experience.
So if I'm at home and it's something that I would be very interested in, first of all, you don't have to be from the parish. It can be from anywhere in New Hampshire, anywhere in New England, in fact,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
They just could go to the web. How do people find out about this?
They can go to our website, again, stmichaelparish.org. Go on that website, and right at the top of the website, the homepage, is the banner, and click right on that, and all the information will be there.
And I love the idea. I love the idea of fathers and sons going to, by the way, that a father will say to his son, no matter what the age, hey, we're going to go to this together. So I wish you guys the best of luck, and we appreciate that you came down here today. And you can, tickets are going to run out fast, so I want people, to get those tickets soon.
Absolutely.
And best of luck, and keep up the good work. This is what we need in the church, is active people like you guys bringing people together. Thanks for coming.
Thank you
very
very
much.
much. Yeah.
And we'll be back with more of This Is a Day right after this. Kevin Nelson will join us, so who knows what about is to happen here. Stay with us.
As African Americans, we have a heritage of brotherhood. We have overcome much to survive. But today there's a genocide threatening to erase our hope and eliminate our future. It is 3 times as likely to strike black women. It's claimed 14 million of our children. It is abortion. You see, abortion doesn't solve problems. It just creates different ones. I know. So help restore our dream by restoring the dignity of human life in our community.
Welcome home, man.
It's very difficult to go through this life alone. In fact, we're social beings. We're made to be in relationship with others, with God and with other people. The nice thing about the Knights of Columbus is that it gives us that opportunity to have fraternal, strong ties that go beyond just business networking, but sharing one's faith, sharing one's family, sharing one's struggle as a husband and father. The great thing about the Knights of Columbus is that they encourage us to take advantage of what the church offers us and gives us the moral support of the fraternity, the brotherhood, of building our families and building a better culture and a better life for everybody. People ask me why I am a Knight. And I'm a Knight of Columbus because of the support and the fraternity that I feel in pursuing what I feel God has given me to do.
And we are back, and I just really have one question for you, Kevin.
What's that, Jay?
Were you nice to Mary yesterday? What did you do special?
Oh, Jay, we don't have enough time left in the show for me to tell you all the things.
You didn't do anything.
A dozen roses.
We both worked yesterday, so.
Really? So
nothing?
Nothing?
No, nothing going on.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. We are planning to do something later on.
A true romantic.
Oh, delayed celebration.
Yeah,
of
delayed
Valentine's.
celebration, yeah.
Now, are we talking days, weeks, months, maybe next year when it rolls back around again?
Within the week, yeah.
Within the week.
I want to know, Jay, if you've taken your lovely daughter, Amelia, to see the Justin Bieber movie yet.
I've already said that you can take her to that.
Bieber fever?
Bieber fever. She wants to go.
She's got the Bieber fever?
And I don't have the Bieber fever at all. there's no Bieber fever
We're
here.
taking your temperature and we're getting cold.
Not there. The one thing I do like is the magazine.
Oh, I love the magazine too. And this is the Catholic TV Monthly. It's all for you, like everything else around here. And we'll send it to you each month. This particular edition is about Viaggio a Roma. And all of our programming this month, special programming from Rome, including the Mass next week on Tuesday, the Feast of the Chair of Peter from the Clementine Chapel, and all of our scheduling, the priests who are coming for Mass, and a little information on the new Roman Missal. All this can be yours, and each and every month we'll send it to you if you just drop us a note at that address on the screen right now.
Can I ask you a question? Was I in Rome with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think...
Oh, you didn't make it on that picture.
I don't think not even the cover, I don't think I made it into one Rome picture.
Well, I thought maybe you took that picture.
No, I would guess that was... Maybe it was me.
You were probably out getting waters and peanuts.
No, I actually think... I had Bieber fever at that point, probably. No, I actually think that I was in the Colosseum with my parents getting footage for... Well, I've probably just given away another Viaggio a Roma. What do you have something to say about that, right?
No, I'm not in that picture, but I wasn't actually there.
You weren't there, so you were the one who decided to stay back here.
I was at a Justin Bieber concert.
You had a Justin and hold down the fort. Hey, I will say this. I don't know how we got into this, and I do not know much about Justin Bieber, but I will say that I've seen interviews with him, and he seems like a very nice young man.
Yeah, he seems like a good kid, and the movie actually has garnered some good reviews. I'm telling you.
You know, there was actually an article. Catholic News Service did an article. His mom's evangelical Christian, and they're they gather together, say a prayer before he goes on stage. So it seems like a good guy.
And people will not believe this, but no one paid us to say these things.
No, I think people will believe that.
Can we score free tickets?
No, they'll absolutely believe it. Well, thank you so much for being with us. They would like to thank our special guests who are here, and we'd especially like to thank you at home and know that all of you are in our thoughts and in our prayers.
And as we continue on through this week in the cold winter months, we ask God to warm your heart and your home with His love and presence today and always. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for joining all of us here in the Catholic TV living room. We love coming into yours. Until next time, everyone, ci vediamo presto.
I like it. I like it. Very nice. Ci vediamo presto.